In the vast tapestry of human existence, one of the most profound questions we grapple with is, how well do we truly know ourselves? Philosophers from ancient times have pondered this. Socrates famously declared that true wisdom comes from recognizing our own ignorance. Yet in our modern world, we often see the opposite. People brimming with confidence, charging ahead without a hint of doubt, only to stumble spectacularly. This paradox of self-perception isn't just a quirk of personality, it's a cognitive bias rooted deep in our psychology. And today we're diving into it with the Dunning-Kruger effect. But before we unpack the science, let's start with a bizarre true story that sparked it all. A tale of lemon juice, bank robberies, and a man who thought he was invisible. Stick around. This is going to be an eye-opener that might just change how you view your own skills and those of everyone around you.
That is being stupid, totally optimally stupid. Probably they need psychotherapists, what you call shrinks. They are suffering from cognitive dissonance. In normal English, that is mental diarrhea. They deserve what you call mental rejuvenation.
Let's travel back to January 1995 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A man named MacArthur Wheeler walks into two banks in broad daylight. No mask, no disguise, just his face smeared with lemon juice. Why? Wheeler believed that lemon juice, the same stuff used in invisible ink, would make his face invisible to security cameras. He even tested it by taking a Polaroid of himself, and when the photo came out blank, probably due to a camera malfunction, he was convinced it worked. Spoiler, it didn't. Wheeler was arrested that same day after police easily identified him from the footage. When shown the tapes, he was baffled, muttering, "But I wore the juice." This absurd incident caught the attention of psychologists David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger, who wondered, how could someone be so overconfident in such a flawed idea? Their investigation led to the discovery of what we now call the Dunning-Kruger effect.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. On my orders, coalition forces have begun striking selected targets of military importance to undermine Saddam Hussein's ability to wage war. These are opening stages of what will be a broad and concerted campaign. More than 35 countries are giving crucial support, from the use of naval and air bases, to help with intelligence and logistics, to the deployment of combat units. Every nation in this coalition has chosen to bear the duty and share the honor of serving in our common defense.
So what exactly is the Dunning-Kruger effect? At its core, it's a cognitive bias, a systematic error in our thinking that affects how we assess our own competence. People with limited knowledge or skill in a particular area tend to overestimate their abilities dramatically. They think they're experts when they're barely beginners. On the flip side, those who are truly competent often underestimate themselves, assuming that if something is easy for them, it must be easy for everyone else. It's like the old saying, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. But why does this happen? It boils down to metacognition. That's our ability to think about our own thinking. If you're unskilled, you lack the tools to recognize your own shortcomings. You don't know what you don't know. Experts, however, are acutely aware of the complexities and nuances which can make them doubt their mastery.
A lot of good things have come out about the hydroxy. A lot of good things have come out. And you'd be surprised at how many people are taking it, especially the frontline workers, before you catch it. The frontline workers, many are taking it. I happen to be taking it.
Hydroxychloroquine?
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
When?
Right now, yeah.
when?
A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories. And if it's not good, I'll tell you right. I'm not going to get hurt by it.
In 1972, Ugandan dictator Idi Amin expelled over 80,000 Asians who had lived in Uganda for generations and played an inestimable role in the country's economy and professions. Amin accused them of sabotaging the economy and ordered them to leave within 3 months, leading to their displacement to countries like Britain and India. The expulsion resulted in significant economic disruption for Uganda and caused immense hardship for the Asian community, who were forced to abandon their homes, businesses, and livelihoods. A good example of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Shops is run by the Ugandans.
What will happen to these people if they don't go by the time limit?
I think they will be sitting like they are sitting on the fire. I will tell you this. You just wait after 3 months.
What will you do to them?
Okay, you will see.
You said you wanted Uganda.
I think they will not sit comfortable here in.
Visualize this as a graph, often called the Dunning-Kruger curve. At the far left, with 0 to low skill, confidence shoots way up. That's the peak of Mount Stupid, where Wheeler lived with his lemon juice theory. As you gain a bit more knowledge, reality hits. You enter the valley of despair, where confidence plummets because you start seeing all the gaps in your understanding. Finally, as true expertise builds, confidence rises again, but now it's grounded in reality. It's not a perfect bell curve, it's more like a slingshot, quick overconfidence, a dip, then a steady climb. Dunning and Kruger didn't just theorize this, they tested it rigorously. In their landmark 1999 paper published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, they conducted a series of experiments at Cornell University. In one, they asked students to rate their performance on tests of humor, grammar, and logic. The bottom quartile, those who scored the lowest, predicted they'd be in the top 62nd percentile. In reality, they were in the 12th. Meanwhile, the top performers underestimated themselves, thinking they were around the 68th percentile when they were actually in the 89th. Similar patterns emerged in other studies, like one where gun owners overestimated their firearm knowledge and safety skills. These findings have been replicated countless times since across cultures and domains, proving it's a universal human flaw. But let's not stop at the lab. This effect plays out in everyday life. Take driving. Studies show that 80 to 90% of people rate themselves as above average drivers, which is statistically impossible. Or think about social media, where armchair experts confidently spout opinions on complex topics like economics or medicine after reading one article. Remember the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic? People with no medical background dismissing experts because I did my own research. That's Dunning-Kruger in the wild. In the workplace, it explains why incompetent bosses might macromanage while talented employees suffer from imposter syndrome. Politically, it can lead to echo chambers where overconfident leaders make disastrous decisions, assuming they're infallible. Now, why should we care? The Dunning-Kruger effect isn't just amusing, it has real consequences. In medicine, overconfident patients might ignore doctor advice, leading to health risks. In finance, novice investors could lose fortunes thinking they're stock-picking geniuses. On a global scale, it contributes to polarization. People entrench in beliefs without questioning them. But there's hope. Awareness is the first step. Dunning himself notes that the effect is most pronounced in areas where feedback is scarce. So in fields with clear metrics like sports or coding, people adjust faster. So how do we combat the Dunning-Kruger effect in our own lives? Start with humility. Embrace the Socratic mindset. Question your assumptions. Seek out diverse perspectives and constructive criticism. If you're a beginner, dive deeper. The more you learn, the more you'll see your blind spots. For experts, recognize your value. Don't let underestimation hold you back. Tools like journaling your progress or mentorship can help. And remember, everyone falls into this at some point. It's human. The key is growth. Wrapping this up, the Dunning-Kruger effect, inspired by that lemon-juiced rubber back in 9 to 5, teaches us a timeless lesson. True competence comes with self-awareness. Next time you're feeling overly sure about something or doubting yourself too much, pause and reflect. Are you on Mount Stupid, or have you climbed to the peak of real expertise? Thanks for joining me on this deeper dive. If you've spotted Dunning-Kruger in your life, or have a story like Wheeler's, share it in the comments. What's one skill where you might be overestimating yourself? Hit like if this resonated. Subscribe for more mind-bending psych insights and turn on notifications. See you next time.